and welcome to the final episode 6 of our Metal China 2026 Foundry Expo series. Over the past 5 episodes, we've walked the show floor, broken down equipment, dived into materials, and analyzed the entire global market. Today, we finish strong. We're summarizing China's real core industry advantages, breaking down the most transformative technologies in die casting and green foundry, laying out clear, actionable 2027 to 2028 industry trends, and wrapping this entire series into one final conclusion. This is the closing chapter you don't want to miss. Let's start by distilling everything we've learned into the core, lasting advantages that won't disappear in the next 5 to 10 years. These aren't expo trends, these are structural strengths. First, full chain industrial integration. This is the single biggest advantage. No other country can match the end-to-end integration. Raw material supply, metal casting, precision machining, electrical control, robot integration, software programming, environmental systems, logistics, export, and after-sales. All in one concentrated industrial ecosystem. A single foundry line involves hundreds of components. China can source, assemble, test, and ship it faster and more coherently than anyone else. Second, mass production plus customization flexibility. China has both the scale for high-volume standard lines and the flexibility to build customized solutions for niche processes. Small batch specialized parts, high-volume automotive lines. Green factory retrofits the same ecosystem handles both. That's extremely rare in global manufacturing. Third, smart factory practicality, not just hype. A lot of countries talk about smart manufacturing as a marketing buzzword. In China's foundry industry, it's real on-the-floor implementation. Automated material handling, real-time production monitoring, centralized parameter control, robot loading and unloading, and data-driven yield improvement. This isn't lab demo tech. It's installed, running, and making factories money right now. Fourth, green and energy-saving compliance. The industry has completely shifted from ignoring environmental rules to building compliance into every machine. Energy savings, emission reduction, waste recycling, and zero-discharge design are no longer optional upgrades. They're standard features on new equipment. Leading sand regeneration systems hit 90% plus recycling rate. Modern melting furnaces cut energy use by 15-25. Real, measurable ROI for every buyer. Fifth, commercial reality over concept. Every major technology at this expo has one thing in common. It's built for real production, not trade show demos. There's very little future concept equipment. Everything you see is designed for shipment, installation, production, and profit. That's the difference between a manufacturing leader and a tech demonstrator. We've covered a lot of equipment. Let's highlight the technologies that are actually reshaping the industry. Large-scale integrated die casting. This is the single biggest game changer, driven entirely by the electric vehicle industry. Traditional car manufacturing uses dozens or hundreds of stamped and welded parts. Integrated die casting replaces entire sections with one single cast part. The benefits are staggering. Lighter weight, higher rigidity, fewer production steps, lower labor cost, faster production, and simpler supply chains. This technology is moving rapidly from EVs to commercial vehicles, industrial machinery, and beyond. Quick global comparison. European brands lead in ultra-large bespoke units. Chinese equipment leads in scalable, cost-effective mainstream integrated die casting. Green sand regeneration and circular foundry. Sand is the most used material in foundries. Modern sand regeneration systems have turned waste into a reusable resource. Mechanical and thermal regeneration systems recycle 90% plus of used sand, drastically reducing raw material costs and environmental waste. For every modern foundry, this is no longer a future project. It's a core part of daily operations. Buyer fit. Non-negotiable for high-volume sand casting foundries. Less critical for small, low-output die casting-only shops. Precision investment and sand casting upgrades. High-value parts don't use mass casting alone. Precision investment casting and advanced sand casting lines are improving rapidly in surface finish, dimensional accuracy, and part complexity. These technologies dominate high-end aerospace accessories, automotive precision parts, mechanical components, and high-value hardware segments. Robot-integrated unmanned production. We're not talking about one robot picking up a part. We're talking about full-line integration. Robot melting assistance, automatic molding, mold transfer, casting, deburring, shot blasting, quality inspection, and stacking. The near unmanned foundry is already here for leading factories. Labor dependence will keep falling, not just in China but globally. Full process quality control. Quality control is no longer just a final check. It starts with raw material composition testing, continues with molten metal temperature and purity monitoring, includes in-process dimensional inspection, and ends with finished product certification. This full chain control is what makes global buyers trust Chinese-made cast parts at scale. Based on Metal China 2026 exhibitor investments, R&D focus, buyer demand, and global regulatory direction. These are not guesses, these are locked-in trends. Trend 1, automation adoption will accelerate dramatically. This is not optional anymore. Rising global labor costs, high employee turnover, and demand for consistent output will force every foundry to automate or be outcompeted. Small, old, labor-reliant foundries will be squeezed out of the market rapidly. The next 2 years will be the fastest upgrade cycle we've seen in a decade. Trend 2, green foundry will become a global market entry requirement. Environmental compliance is no longer a selling point. It will be a minimum requirement to enter Europe, North America, and most mature regional markets. Buyers will no longer ask, do you have environmental equipment? They will ask, does your full line meet my local emission standards? Low emission, energy efficient, waste recycling equipment will become the standard, not the premium option. Trend 3, large integrated die casting will expand beyond EVs. Right now, this tech is driven by electric vehicles. In the next 2 years, it will spill into commercial vehicles, construction machinery, industrial structures, and large format hardware. Demand for large tonnage die casting machines, high-pressure molding lines, and supporting materials will skyrocket. This is not a niche bubble, it's a structural shift in part design. Trend 4, global supply chains will favor stable, full-chain suppliers. The past few years have taught global buyers one clear lesson. Cost matters, but supply chain stability matters more. Buyers will increasingly choose suppliers that can deliver machines, materials, spare parts, and support together, not just the cheapest single machine. China's one-stop ecosystem is perfectly positioned for this shift. Trend 5, industry concentration will rise sharply. Small, low-tech, non-certified, copycat manufacturers will disappear. The market will concentrate toward manufacturers with real R&D, international certifications, overseas service networks, and full turnkey capabilities. The gap between top brands and small factories will get much wider, not smaller. Trend 6, digital and data-driven production will become mainstream. The next layer of smart manufacturing is data. Production output tracking, yield analysis, energy consumption monitoring, fault prediction, and remote after-sales support. Leading machines already have these capabilities. By 2028, they'll be standard on mid-range export equipment. Let's wrap the entire series into one clear flow. EP1 plus EP2, quick expo walkthrough, show floor layout and core zone overview. EP3 plus EP4, professional deep dive equipment or material tech, data, real sourcing value. EP5, global market analysis, China's position, U or JP or CN comparison, buyer suitability. EP6, final conclusion, core advantages, breakthrough tech, future trends. As a third-party industry observer, here's my unfiltered bottom line. The old stereotype that Chinese foundry equipment is cheap and low-end is completely dead in 2026. European and Japanese brands still hold the high ground on ultra-niche, ultra-prestige, ultra-high-precision segments. But for 80% of the world's industrial foundries, the mass production, export-focused, cost-efficient, automation upgrading factories that drive the global market, Chinese equipment is now the most practical, reliable, and business-friendly choice on the market. It delivers 90% plus of real production performance, with 15-25 energy savings on modern melting lines, 90% plus sand recycling on green systems, faster delivery, better after sales, and a full integrated supply chain no other country can match right now. Final buyer verdict. If you need absolute top-tier ultra-niche precision and brand prestige, European or Japanese machines still serve that small segment. If you run a real-world production factory that needs to make money, hit compliance, scale fast, and control costs, Chinese foundry equipment is no longer a budget option. It's the smart global choice. And that's a wrap. The entire Metal China 2026 6-episode Foundry Expo series is complete. If you found this professional, on-site, no-hype industry breakdown valuable, hit subscribe, turn on post notifications, and follow 3Y channel. We don't do generic content. We bring you real industrial expos, hands-on manufacturing deep dives, global supply chain analysis, and actionable sourcing intelligence you can actually use for your business. We've got more industrial expos, machinery breakdowns, and global manufacturing content coming very soon. If you want to stay ahead of industry trends, secure better sourcing decisions, and understand how global manufacturing really works, this is the channel for you. Thank you for watching every episode of this series, with more real industry content right here on 3Y channel. We'll see you in the next one.